All right, today I want to give you my honest opinion of the Banks air nailer from Harbor Freight. Let's go. All right, so an air nailer may not be something you use on a regular basis, but I have recently been using it quite a lot. The one I've been using is from Banks. I bought it from Harbor Freight about 2.5 years ago for just over $30. I used it to put up some paneling and some flooring at a previous home, and I've been using it a lot here lately with my new elevated cabin build to put up the walls and some flooring. Like I said, it's not something you're going to use on a regular basis, but it does help quite a bit in doing this kind of job. As you get older, it gets a little bit more difficult to get up and down, to get down on your knees to, nail in some nails, bend down, that kind of thing. The air nailer has helped me specifically to minimize that issue. I can just bend over, squat down a little bit, and use the air nailer on the floor, get on a ladder, use it for putting the walls up, and you're not using the same muscles you would use for hammering nails. It's just a matter of pulling a little trigger on the air nailer to make the job infinitely easier. Harbor Freight offers a wide variety of air nailers and staplers, ranging in price from about $25 all the way up to several $100s. The one I'm discussing today is the Banks 18 gauge brad nailer. New versions of this brad nailer include a plastic case. Let me show you the basics of using your brad nailer with an air compressor. Okay, whenever you're setting up your air nailer, the thing to keep in mind is for your air compressor, the one I'm using is the Central Pneumatic from Harbor Freight. This one has 150 max PSI, which is pounds per square inch. This one is up to its maximum, or close to it, and this is currently set at 0. So in order to get to the pressure that I want, I have to turn this knob. It's going to be different depending on the type of air compressor you have. But for this particular brad nailer, it works between 70 and 120. So I want to get it to the pressure that I want, and from experience from using this one for this specific job, it works great at 90 pounds per square inch. For your air compressor, make sure you have it plugged in. I've had a couple of times where I forgot that it was not plugged in, and as you're using the brad nailer, the pressure in the tank is going to go down from use, and you're going to get to a point where the nails may stick out, it may not fire at all. And typically, in my case, it was user error, and I realized that I didn't have it plugged in. So you want to make sure it's plugged in, so whenever the pressure in the tank gets a little bit low, it kicks back on, and gets back to the pressure required. Okay, on the Banks air nailer, some models may be slightly different, but the mechanism is typically the same. This is under this door is where you're going to put your brad nails. To gain access to it, there will be a mechanism that releases the door so you can see where you would put the nails. This particular model uses 5/8 inch to 2 inch brad nails. Once you have the quantity you want to put in here, which it'll hold up to 100, but this is where you would put those nails with the high ridge on the top, because that's more or less the top of the nail. Then you close this back until it snaps. And on this particular model, this one has a little doorway more or less here where you can, if you have a jam, it'll allow you to gain access to it to remove the jam. And whenever you're done with it, it's just a matter of flipping this back down and making sure that it locks. A particular safety feature of this model, it may have it on others, but it has it on here, and it's very useful, is whenever you pull the trigger, nothing happens if you're not pressing down on a piece of wood or for whatever craft or use you have for it. It's not going to fire until it has pressure. So sometimes whenever you're using the air nailer, you want the exhaust air to be redirected as you're using it. There's a dial on the top here that it's just a matter of turning it to send the air in another direction. Depending on your position while you're using it, sometimes the air could come back in your face, and that's not pleasant. You want to keep your air nailer clean. Right now, I have a little bit of maintenance work to do on it. It's held up really well, and I have had very few issues with it. All right, so the Banks air nailer, I've had it about 2.5 years. I got it from Harbor Freight. It's been a very reliable tool for me. I recently purchased another one from Harbor Freight from the brand name of Central Pneumatic, and I'm using that one as well. I have very few issues with either. The only reason I purchased the new one from Central Pneumatic was because I thought that my Banks model had gone out, but I found out that it was me not using it correctly. It's been a great tool for me. It's very affordable. If you're looking for something for putting up paneling, a thinner wall, as what we did with our floor in the cabin, put some 1x6s on the floor, going into plywood underneath. It worked extremely well. For the floors, we used 1.5 inch to 2 inch nails to attach that. For the shiplap that we used on the walls, we used 1.5 inches, and that worked really well. All right, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, please click the like button. If you'd like to follow us on our adventures, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of things coming up here in the new year, so stay tuned.